This meeting is being recorded.
I am so honored and privileged to be able to teach this SHINE framework to everybody. Thank you to all of the mentors and the SHINE partners that are here with us today. The type of way that we're going to learn this SHINE framework is that it's interactive, and it's always about taking you deeper into a self-awareness, self-discovery process and help you understand how the SHINE framework fits into your stories, it fits into your way of teaching. And so if you don't already know me, my name is Debbie Prediger, and I am the founder of the Be Extraordinary Women's Network, the Empowering You community, and the founder thinker starter of the Shine Circle, but we doing it together. Together with all of these mentors and Shine partners, we're really building something extraordinary. But we're using my framework. It's kind of like the person that teaches, get in the playground. I think of the kids. It's like, it's my game, my rules. But I giggle at that, guys. I really do, because I never want it to be all about me. But I do believe that the SHINE framework is something that works in business. It works for every person. When you truly get it, you'll see how similar it is to your own framework or your own philosophies. And I'm just here helping everybody connect the dots between that. So I'm going to first and foremost let everybody introduce themselves, because you are part of this recording that will stay evergreen as we teach this SHINE framework out into not only the SHINE Circle membership, but far beyond that. So Jenny, why don't you start, and then you can just name somebody next and we'll popcorn around.
Awesome. Thanks, Debbie. So hi, everybody. My name's Jenny Reyes. By day, I have, apart from being a mom, I have a branding business, Your Brand Story. So I am a strategic brand integrator inside the Shine Circle and in Debbie's community. She has lovingly given me the title of an alignment advisor. And so it all works hand in hand with the branding, because you want that to be aligned with everything that you do and how you show up for the world. So that's a quick intro about me. I'm going to go to who's next on my screen, Carol. I think we need volume, Carol.
So sorry, I had myself double muted. My mic and my Zoom. So sorry. Okay, so I'm here in the group as someone to remind us and help us to be present to each and every moment that we are in this world. And with Ashley, that's not going to be too difficult, because she's got to be present in to every moment with her newborn. But for the rest of us, it's active, it's effort to bring our consciousness to each and every moment where where we're not living in the past and we're not worrying about the future. And so I'm really honored to be part of that and part of this group. Thank you. Yes, Marilise.
Thanks, Carol. There always has to be one that speaks on the, on the Zoom muted, and then, everybody has to like, you muted, you muted. Hi, everybody. I'm Marilise de Villiers Basson. I am the founder of Roar Coaching and Consulting. So Roar exists because I had to learn to speak up in very toxic environments. I had to find my own voice. I had to empower myself. So it's all about the courage to speak up. And I'm also very passionate about the role of leaders and cultures, organizations, to create safe spaces for people to speak up. And, I'm on this journey. I've been sort of on this journey with many people in this room, especially probably the longest with Debbie and Jenny. And it's just been such an honor to be part of this, and to be a mentor in this community for me is a great honor, and I cannot wait to share. And you're right, your framework and our frameworks are also super aligned, but we all have a very unique unique voice, a very unique roar. And so we all bring a different take and a different perspective. So I'm excited to hear from everybody and to share my own. Ashley.
Thanks, Marilise. So I'm Ashley Borromeo. I am the founder of a online, if you will, dance world called Tap Fit Fam. That's what I have had now for about 3 years. Prior to that, I owned a brick and mortar dance studio and homeschooled my children. I just had my 4th tiny baby that I just handed off. This year in 2025, with the help of Debbie and Jenny both, I really dove head deep into my coaching programs and took the dancing out of them. And so I'm also the founder of Alive and Aligned Coaching Collective. And I couldn't be more proud to say that, because that's what I want to do, is help people live alive and aligned. And alive for me is dancing. Again, I'm a dance teacher. For Marilise, it's roaring, and we all have our own way of coaching and of sharing, but the Shine framework 100% overlaps with all of us. So we all have a unique way of bringing in more, which is also part of Marilise's world there, more, bringing in more with Debbie's framework. And I'm just so excited to be here. So thank you, Debbie. And next, Magda.
Thank you, Ashley. Hello, everyone. So we're shining, we're roaring, and I'm resetting people. Hello, everyone. My name is Magda Sommer. I am founder of Reset Wellness Journey, and health is a journey. And at some point of our life, we need to stop, reset, and find what's going on with us. We need to stop masking symptoms, running from doctor to doctor, and finally take our own health with our own hands. And I am health transformation guide. I'm guiding ladies to find the root cause of a misalignment, of a struggles, and finally enjoy the life again. With the new season, new awareness, we combining all body, mind, and spirit. And with these beautiful ladies right here, we come to conclusion we all share the same passion, same vision, and as this collective, we are healing the world. And next is Hailey.
Hello. So I am Hailey Nilsson, and I live in Southern Utah. And I am super thrilled to be here to collaborate and work towards my mission. I actually am on a mission to help parents reconnect and rise into their power. So I'm a mom. I have 3 daughters, ages 5, 18, and 21. And so it's pretty neat that I have a 5-year-old in her true essence, and then I have a new adult, and then I have she's trying to be an adult. She's 21. So my girls are very aligned with my mission and my inspiration. And I'm actually the president of the Kiwanis group here in my county as well. So yeah, I'm just on a mission to help parents connect and or reconnect with their children and heal alongside their children.
Wow. Can you guys feel like I'm like mother hen here, proud as can be of what type of mentorship we have in this community? It just lights me up in no way. Now, we have others too. There is more here, and you'll see them throughout our trainings. We're going to be doing 6 weeks of this. This is the introduction, and then we're going to move into every letter of the Shine framework. What I want to talk about a little bit and start the conversation around is number 1, what is the Shine framework? And it is S is self-love, self-discovery, self-awareness. It's self. And H is healing. Well, we just had a conversation over in the Extraordinary Exchanges led by Ashley inside of the Be Extraordinary Women's Network that really took us deep into what is healing. And what if we didn't actually have to heal ourselves or heal each other? That's a higher thought consciousness than when, even as a nurse, when I have an identity thinking that it is my job to heal people, and then coming into the world where I realize that our bodies could heal themselves. So we're going to go deep into that as well. And I is for intuition. We always need to activate and trust our intuition, to practice, to play with it, to listen to it, to love it, right? All pieces of it. N is for nourishment, nourishing our heart, our mind, our soul, and vice versa, because every pieces of those nourish us as a whole as well. And E is empowerment, empowerment, evolution, really understanding that all pieces of this bring our energy, our frequency, our vibration up so we can see, hear, and know exactly what we're meant to see, hear, and know. So I would love to pass it around again and have you share a thought about the framework in general, as a whole, and how it relates back to what you already believed or taught or mentor in. And I'm going to start with Hailey.
So it's actually really powerful because just writing it down again and seeing it visually also is literally what we need to thrive, what we need to be our best self, what we need to actually make the impact in the world and make that impact on humanity and make that shift really. And so I feel like this is something that no matter what we go through in our lives, it can always be a tool, like a beautiful tool that anybody can learn, any age, 5, 10, 18, 21, 40, 60. It's something that we can always use and utilize and look back on, and it's sacred to me. So yeah, I think it's really powerful because I'm actually, as I come into my as I blossom, I want to say, because that's what I feel like that's where I feel like I'm at right now. Like me and my daughters are all blossoming. That's like the only word I can think of. It's perfect, and it's a very line, and like I said, we can all use it, and we can all use it as a I don't even like saying tool because that sounds too rough. We could use it as a I don't even know, just something more sacred and more soft.
I love that, Hailey. Thank you for that. Carol, what are your thoughts?
I love this framework because I see it as a container to hold every single piece of our humanity and what we're here to do, and to learn and grow into what we're called to be and do. And I really think that the thought that you put into creating this acronym was quite beautiful. And I get to experience it. We all get to experience it individually and together.
Yeah, thank you for that, Carol. I'm just going to pause right there because it gives me an opening on a little bit of why the framework came about. So it's things that I've taught and I've believed in for a long time, but I don't know if it was fully a framework until I did the visibility challenge with several of the women here in this community. And what happened is I put out an invitation for and it was very spirit led, an invitation to take people through a challenge where they became more visible. In order to be more visible, it wasn't about like take the stage, it was be more visible to themselves. Once they could shine their own unique light, that visibility then went out into the world. And I wanted to show them how to do that through a challenge. Well, I had 11 people say, boom, I want in right away. Now it became even bigger than what I originally thought. And it took a life of its own, which became more than just a challenge to push or nudge or lead. It became a mentorship tool. And so what happened is I had to take all of these women that joined this and merge their beliefs, their desires, the outcomes they promised their clients into something. So I really studied what they did, what they believed in, the clarity on who they were, and knowing there's another level that was trying to evolve. And so I came up with this shine framework, and we did in January a visibility challenge out into the public. Instead of me, they helped co-lead this. And it was a really beautiful where we've seen a whole bunch of new leaders step up. Leaders that maybe had been hiding a bit, hiding from themselves, leaders that maybe didn't recognize they were a true leader, even though they were the go-to person in their family that always got asked to step up and do something. And it changed that whole philosophy from we have to do more to be more. It was be first, anchor in that, and then let that light shine from within. And so thank you, Carol, for just opening that conversation up and then bringing it back in, because yeah, I do believe this framework truly does, as Hailey just commented, brings out our true essence. And that's really important for me. I never want to be the person that says, this is how you have to do it. I want that to come from your own truth, your true essence. So Marilise, what do you think of this framework?
So the first thing for me that came up was shine bright like a diamond, which is sort of, Rihanna's song, and that reminder, that we are already whole, that we already have all the power inside us to, make all our dreams come true. And that is my whole curriculum that I teach. You are meant for more, and you are already more than enough, so you have to roar for more, and you have to go on this sort of epic hero's journey. And so shine just beautifully complements that. And the whole kind of theme at the moment, again, is very present with me because I'm writing chapter 7 in my new book, which is all about conquering your darkest hours. You're now kind of in that phase of the hero's journey, and it's all about rising beyond resilience with brilliance. And then I'm thinking about a diamond, and I'm thinking about, how does a diamond get formed? And so for me, there's just a really daily reminder to shine. And so many times in my day, the word just pops up, and I think of you, I think of, this community, and what it actually means is so much more meaningful now that we've actually done, the different letters and gone through that visibility challenge. I was so happy to be part of that. So yeah, no, for me, it's just so beautiful, and just a beautiful way to live our lives daily, moment by moment, as Carol said.
I love that. I love the excitement that you bring for this, right? So it also reminded me, I'm going to have Jenny go next, but it reminded me of what Jenny's teaching today inside of our Shine Circle membership. Is she's teaching words that matter, right? Marilise, it's very obviously that words matter to you. You speak it, and there's a frequency and a vibration and an activation that happens when you pull that from yourself. It's like you are anchored in your truth, and then it comes out. So I wanted to reflect that back to you, but I wanted that to be in this recording as well, so people understand that energy really truly does matter. And the word that activates that energy for you is your word. But Jenny, let's hear about the Shine framework and what it means to you.
Thank you, Debbie. So the perspective I come from really has all of this as part of pieces of your puzzle, right? We always talk about the pieces of your puzzle, and I don't know that that's a framework per se, but it's a mindset that everything that we do builds into a piece of a puzzle. And how shine comes together is very easily applicable to anybody's brand puzzle. As you look at it, you need the self-awareness. Of course, you want to go on your healing journey. Some of the things that you do when you start to build your brand is intuitive, right? It doesn't have always the logic, but mostly it's, well, this is how I feel, and that's how it works. And then of course the nourishment part and then the empowerment part all comes together, and how do you bring it to life? And so I find it's applicable across a lot. It's very foundational to everything that we do, because then from having that, it's so much easier. You think of kind of like a base where the light kind of shines bright, and then it goes everywhere. And so that's the perspective that I was having with the Shine framework, and how each letter, each part actually plays a part in everything that we do and everything that we begin to build. So that was my thought there when you shared.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I just want everybody else to reflect, whether you're watching this live, whether you're one of the speakers here, teachers, mentors on the screen, is as people share, what are you hearing or feeling that's even allow you to go into a deeper sense of awareness? So really paying attention. That's part of that intention that we set at the beginning of every room that we're in, is what am I here to see, hear, and know today? And the know is the deeper embodiment of it, the deeper anchoring of it. There's a different perspective or truth trying to come through that maybe had fluttered by before, but it's landing today. So just to be in that awareness. Magda, what about you? What does this framework mean to you?
The Shine Circle framework will mean for me wholeness. Like Jenny said, we can apply to every industry, on every journey, and it's also for me as well, because you need to be self-aware of your doing. You need to hear something in yourself. You need to have intuition and trust yourself what you really up to, what holding you back. You need to nurture your home, your body, and you need to be empowered when you connect it all. And so for me, this is the wholeness. What it even you can apply to your own health journey, apply, to your business. But also for me, there is another word in this is C, is community. Because part of the wholeness be part of something bigger, what will serve, to humanity, to the world, and also to yourself. You will serve yourself first as well. And then with all the collaboration and beautiful magic happens, we all shine.
Well said. I love it. Thanks for bringing in the C. And Ashley just put in there collective, community, and collaboration, and connection are very much my words. So we have a lot. Ashley, I would love to hear from you because you have a dance framework, which I think me and you could talk about how similar they are, like back and forth for an hour.
We really could, Debbie. And I had my dance framework before I ever knew your Shine framework. And I was one of those original 11 that when you posted, hey, I'm gonna look for anybody interested. It was a heck yes, or a full body yes, or an absolutely, or what 100%, whatever word resonates with you. That's what it was for me. And I think that that's important to point out, because that is already me living and trusting that intuition. And that's part of the Shine framework. But it is it's a knowing that whenever things are in alignment, which again, my coaching is alive and aligned. So I'm looking for the alignment, and I'm also looking for the misalignment. Maybe that's part of because I have scoliosis, and I've had scoliosis since I was a kid. And when I am misaligned, it doesn't feel good. And I know I have to do something right away to feel better. So I try to avoid misaligned steps. Now we all make them, but immediately the Shine framework aligned with my dance framework. And what I know I say this stuff all the time, but when you went through the Shine and I wrote it out again, like Marilise, and seeing it again, E for empowerment and evolution. Well, dance is 5 letters as well. That's my framework. And E is the very last letter. And mine, I don't say empowerment or evolution, I say energy. And when you said empowerment and evolution, you said all pieces bring our energy and our frequency up. And that's what it is for me. In dance, it's about energy. It's an energy exchange. It's kinetic energy. It's embodiment, of course, which is another E word that I use a lot. But self, healing, intuition, nourishment, and in this case, empowerment, they are the dance framework that I coach. Slightly different worded. Again, why words matter, words at work with Jenny. But when I've taught dance for the last, I don't know, over 2 decades, there's something very, very magical in being able to word something in multiple ways so that it can truly connect with the audience that you're speaking to. And so for me, having my dance framework was already very powerful. I had been coaching that for years, just didn't really have it as streamlined until the last maybe 2.5 years. But shine and being part of this with you, Debbie, and all these incredible women allows me to absorb even more of an approach and different angles and perspectives. So it's an absolute honor to share your shine framework, to blend that with my dance framework, and to hear everybody else's way of doing it, because that's how we can really make an impact with, as Hailey is so passionate about working with children too, me as well. You know, kids are listening, they're hearing it, and the word intuition might not resonate with them, but mine in dance, DAN, is notice. They might go, oh, okay, I can notice. And the last thing I want to say is, one of the things that I love so much about you, Debbie, and you've just done it, and you do it all the time, you probably don't even realize it, is you always pull us all back as a collective, as the C that Magda shared, you pull us all back and you remind us of what we're doing in the moment, that presence that Carol brings. And you did it. You just said, what am I here to see, hear, and know today? And so it's an honor to always be in proximity to all of you ladies, because you're always reminding me and empowering me, but reminding me what is there for me right now. Because if I can absorb even more every time I'm with you guys, then I get to have more tools, as Hailey said, but more resources and all of that to also bring in. So thank you, Debbie.
Wow, such an honor. You know, the Shine framework develops over time, whether we call it a framework or we call it tools in the toolbox, but putting it together in something that comes from a place of love, from acceptance, from empowerment, from seeing the gap, seeing the opportunity for growth, but not pointing fingers and telling somebody they have to grow, right? This is really important to me, that we are leading by example, we are living it, and living it means we dance. Living it means we can potentially have those hard days where we're not shining very brightly. In fact, we're maybe in our own way dimming our own light. And then there is an opportunity through community, through other people holding up the mirror and saying, it's fine for you to hide. It's fine for you to pause. It's fine for you to like just not shine as brightly today, but we're not letting you stay there. We get it. We've all been through those hills and valleys. We've all been through that time. I had a few negative thoughts or beliefs on shine. And when we talked about them in the visibility challenge, I pulled them to the surface so that I could help other people maybe relate to something that you want to see from a different perspective. So there was few people close in my proximity growing up that always needed to shine. They always needed to be the loudest. They always needed to have the spotlight on them. And it felt really yucky to me. So check in your body if it feels yucky to you. I love watching a carefree child dance and sing and be so proud and say, look at me. But I wasn't that child. I was very afraid. Later, as a teenager, when I start witnessing people say, look at me, it was almost like I wanted to run and say, don't do that. It's not safe. Why are you doing that? And then later, I started recognizing that there was a lot of ego. These people weren't necessarily as healed as they could be. They were doing it out of almost, I want to prove my worth, versus anchored in their truth that they are worthy, that they were born worthy. So there's been a journey in my life's experiences, and I'm sure your guys' life's experiences take you to the place where you start understanding it all. It all comes together. But what I like to tell people is sometimes when we have a habit or a belief that got us through a certain season in our life, it's time to look at it from a different perspective, to hear and to know the truth. What's the whisper trying to tell you, teach you, mentor you, have you have an aha moment around? So I'm very spirit-led. I hear things. I feel things in other people's bodies. I know things, but I'm not here to tell somebody. I'm here to show somebody. And so when I hear these whispers, instead of the old way of this confusion, like I would literally see like confusion and frustration and overwhelm in the top of their head, now I just see them standing on their head. And then I smile and I'm like, wow, super cool. I just need to shift their perspective. I just need them to see it from a different light. So that's super fun to be able to do that. And as we've all mentioned before, life is meant to be fun. Life is meant to have play and joy attached to it. So I'm going to go around and just ask you another question based on this is our introduction and our intention setting of what the Shine framework will do, is doing, and can do for us that really choose it. I just had each one of you answer the question of what the Shine framework means to you in a whole. But I would like to now ask you which letter fully resonates with you at this time and why. So it might be that S would resonate with you 6 months down the road, but right now, today, E is the thing that's speaking to you, or H is the one that's speaking to you. So I'm hoping that that does make sense. And then I would absolutely love to start with you, Magda.
I some kind of knew that will be me. So I will go with 2 equals letter. I cannot decide on one because I'm going through both. It will be self-awareness and healing. That's what I am standing right now. A lot of things show up in my life which I wasn't aware of. And now I am, and I need to somehow heal out of those things, items. What could this word come from? Okay, what these issues, but that's why I cannot decide on one, because if you're self-aware of something, you need to take an action on it, not sit constantly on it. So like all the Shine framework is beautiful, and one letter lead to another one. This is where I am right now. I'm starting on the beginning of the framework.
How interesting is that? I remember a time, Magda, where it was almost a bit of a confusion on how the Shine framework fit within your framework. I remember helping you connect the dots because, again, the dots were like right there for me. It's like, oh my goodness, like, and nourishment, you nourish people's bodies, you help them reset to receive and do all these things. But I love that you just said the season that you're in is even different. So this is that evolution I spoke about inside of the extraordinary exchange today, is that we move through the SHINE over and over again as we evolve and we continue. So that's a lot of fun. I am going to go with, yeah, it's the journey. Jenny, which one's resonating with you?
Yeah, that was a hard one because I looked at it and I said, oh, which one? But I guess I would be it because intuition seems to be a big, I mean, using and trusting that on a daily basis and practicing that, especially in the work of like branding and relationships and communication. There's a lot of intuition that it comes into play with that too. So that of all the letter, I wanted to say, well, it is the S and then the H and then the N, and but I landed on the I as the one that I will pick because I was asked to pick one.
He's a rule follower. We love that. So this is really interesting because the next weeks that we do this training, we're going to go deeper into each one of these letters. So it'll give you all the time to recognize, but this really is kind of like an exercise in awareness. So Marilise, what about you?
I was gonna choose I as well. And I think I can slightly pivot into evolution because I think the intuition and the evolution for me, there's a big theme in my life around that at the moment, particularly because, and I'll tell you just how it all happened this morning, because I've sort of been grappling with my 2 last chapters in my book, and you know how it happens when you sort of trust your intuition, you sort of go to bed trusting that the answers will come when it's supposed to come, and I was lucky to wake up this morning, and when I was in the gym, kind of on the treadmill, I was kind of thinking, got it. Okay. So it came to me, and then I shared it with my husband, and I was sort of saying to him, okay, so I'm going to write a part of chapter 7 in Afrikaans, which is my home language, my mother tongue. And it's about this song in South Africa, which I really love, and it's about navigating stormy waters, and ultimately, there's a higher power that's there, that's in charge, but actually ultimately the choice is you, how you're going to navigate that journey, how you're going to navigate that destination. But of course, the song is in Afrikaans, so I have to sort of somehow find a way to be authentic in it, and it's like, why not do it anyway? And then I said, and it sort of perfectly then shifts into chapter 8, which then becomes all about, roar for more. And then it's becoming that sort of, okay, so I've come full circle, and I'm starting my evolution now. And then the next evolution is going to be soar. And then he just started laughing, and he's just like, oh, so you're already writing your 3rd book? I'm like, no, stupid. I'm not writing it yet. I haven't even lived that curriculum yet, but I know that's going to be the 3rd book in the future. Whether it's 3, 4, 5 years down the line, that's going to be the next book. And I know it's going to be around energy, and it's going to be around healing, but it's going to be specifically around energy healing, because I intuitively know that's what's next for me. So kind of like, it couldn't come at a more perfect time, just to sort of have that conversation. And yeah, he just chuckled, because then I said to him, what I'm learning and what I have learned is, we spoke about this earlier, is to be how you show up in the moment every single day, peaceful, present, powerful. And I said to him, and we've got to be really careful here, because you've got to come on this journey with me, otherwise we're going to do this, right? We're going to grow apart. And he's like, no, I'm already there. It's like, I'm like, excuse me. He's like, no, I do my meditation in the gym, and that's exactly what I do. I'm present, I'm peaceful, and I'm powerful. And I was just like, So yeah, no, it was just a really beautiful moment this morning, and I'm so glad we've been able to capture it, because I really loved, again, you talk about the energy in words, and it really felt so alive and aligned, Ashley. So yeah.
So beautiful. And what you just reminded me of, as we can look at these women on this panel here and say, well, but they've got it all together, right? We can make up stories like, look at that. I could never be that. And what I want you to witness or connect the dots for you is what Marilise just said about her husband. He didn't have to do it her way. He's doing it in his own way. And he's growing and he's evolving. And I guarantee you, my husband is the exact same way. Sometimes I think there's no way that he's even keeping up with what I'm doing. And then he comes out with something that's like so deep and so powerful. And then you're like, not only has he been paying attention, I think he's the leader, right? So again, like, don't judge where people are. Love them, share, not from a place of judgment, a share of as an opportunity in a mirror, and watch people start to shine. It truly is remarkable. I love it. Ashley, what about you? I can't wait to hear this phase.
Well, I like to be a rule follower, but Magda, she broke the thing and went with 2, and I feel like I'm trying to pick one. All of them. No, I really feel like first my answer was intuition, and just like Jenny, my word for the year is trust, and that's why that was my word. I was like, because right now I'm in a phase of trust. I have this newborn. I have all these huge, beautiful, so exciting dreams in my head for how I get to serve people and how I get to share my time, my talent, my energy. But also I have to take care of me right now at this, like, what is this, postpartum, like 4th trimester thing that people talk about. I'm like, let's just go. I was already teaching, like, let's just keep moving. So I have to remind myself to nourish my body and do all of that. But really, I have to pick, if I'm going to pick one, I have to pick E. And much like Marilise, it is an evolution for me as well. So you shared those 2 words, empowerment and evolution. And energy in my dance framework is absolutely part of this too, but it's the evolution of there was once a part of me who 3.5 years ago believed that I couldn't be an entrepreneur again and homeschool my children and do this. And like, I just thought I had to choose one, and I was going to buy a dance studio. I had one right up the road with an amazing business model. Numbers looked great, looked at the books 3 times. And I kept turning it down because I was like, well, I can't do that and have, well, at the time, my 6-year-old was a baby. And I can't do all of it. And so absolutely, I got pregnant at this phase because I needed to prove to myself that I absolutely can do all of it and more. And so that's what I get to do. I get to evolve into who I was looking for a few years ago. Like I was looking for a woman who was a homeschool mom, who loved being with her kids, not somebody who wanted to ship their kids off and was like, well, let's just get a nanny or that. That's not me. I was like, I need to find somebody that's like me. And yeah, I am her. That's me. I just didn't realize that was me. And so I literally am evolving into the thing that I was looking for, the woman I was looking for a few years ago. And I get to lead by example for myself first, for my kids next, my husband as well, and then for anybody else that's looking for that sort of, I guess, leadership. So yeah, each of them.
I love it. I love these questions. They always are not the questions, the answers. You guys are just such brilliant minds that you always allow yourself to go deeper. But from none of this is practiced, right? Like this is what they live. So on the screen right now, everyone here is an actual mentor. We had some Shine partners in earlier, and we'll talk another day on the evolution of what that looks like. But what I want to point out here, as mentors, they each come in and teach inside of the Shine Circle membership. So they're always taking their genius, teaching it, but then evolving and connecting the dots back to, one or several of the letters so that you can understand what that means. I'm providing a platform for them to shine, the real sense of the word shine, right? Like I want to elevate and build credibility and authority because look at them, they're brilliant. They have so much passion and such beautiful messages to share with the public. I've witnessed that. That's why they got invited into this. I've witnessed that for years, watching the consistency, how they show up, how they're evolving, how they're continuing to build up frameworks or stand on stages or write books. This is all part of the visibility and the shine. But I also could see the connections between all of the other things. Oh, Ashley, so beautiful. And so I would love once again for, instead of it being the introduction that you did at the beginning of who you are and where you're from and your business, I want to talk about your actual belief. What shifted? Before you started your curriculum, I can guarantee you that there was a belief that had to shift, a habit, a pattern, a BS story. And you got through that thing, and now you teach and lead others through that thing. So I would love to hear more from a perspective of the why, more of the connecting the dots of why this shifted and changed everything for you. Does that make sense, everyone? I see that, the head nods. So Marilise, I'm going to start with you.
So yes, I think for me it has to be the dreaded B word, burnouts. And obviously the burnout comes from the self-talk, ultimately the inner bully. And I had to learn that the very hard way, having navigated a bully at work, but ultimately taking responsibility for the way that I showed up. So the harder he pushed me, the harder I pushed myself, which ultimately led to burnouts. And I've probably burnt out twice since. So this was 8 years ago, but the burnout has been different every time, and it's almost been like I choose this, in the sense of the burnout has been related to following my dream and my passion. And so the first burnout was very much around losing control and being in a corporate environment, not fitting in, not doing what I love, losing myself, having no meaning in my life, right? But then the second and third burnouts happen pretty much on that journey, on that quest to do this, to teach, to live my life curriculum. And so I think for me, the shift happened in 2024, beginning of 2024, when I realized that there has to be a different way, there has to be a better way. And that's when I sort of shifted from this kind of hustle, it has to be hard work, culture, mindset, to actually, you know what, this can be easy. I can be present. It can feel peaceful. It can feel good. I get to do this in a way that serves me, and being very intentional about it. Yeah, so that's kind of, and it's still work in progress. As you said, rightly said earlier, we're not finished products. Old habits really do die hard. But it's really so much more progress over perfection, and being present in the moment and really enjoying it more than I ever had before.
So beautiful. I desire that for every person that's watching this. So if that is a dream of yours, or maybe you just remembered it was a dream of yours, claim it. Claim that. That feels really good. Yesterday, I had a conversation with somebody that I was mentoring, and she had a very great title, income, title, identity, and it's shifting. And we as women recognize that we've gone through those types of things. But it was so amazing to witness her say that, and it was an aha moment that happened during the conversation. But I have as much worth, in fact, more, now that I'm doing nothing. I want you guys to hear that. When someone finally recognizes their own potential and power, and realize that it's not in the doing, it's in the being. As a listener, as somebody that was very gifted on helping hold sacred space and help somebody share aha moments and realizations and breakthroughs, definitely she is worth millions, because that's how many people she can touch with that gift. And so to witness herself in that value was very powerful. Jenny, I would love to hear your why.
My why, or what's shifted? What am I?
Yeah, it's connected to your why though, so I should have said it. What's shifted? What pivoted for you to be able to passionately teach this?
Well, so I've always said, and I think, yeah, I've even said it to you, Debbie, where I've never been one who's dreamt of being on a big stage in front of hundreds and millions of people, um, actually teaching, like being the star of the show, right? I know that I've always liked my role in the back end, and because I know how things come together, how to support, and I've once upon a time been told that that's never enough. And so that's, it's always, oh, you've got to be the star of your own show, right? But as I've come into this work as well, I've realized the importance of where my role and my little purpose here fits, and how being somebody in the middle that can discern and take a vision and integrate it and then turn it into something else, it's more meaningful now. And claiming it, as you say, and owning it, and that's where kind of the intuition comes in as well, to be able to, because some people will be like, how did she see that, how did she feel that? It just comes, and and I come to these realizations or these little pieces that will like bring it together. As you said before, it's like sometimes a small tweak. It's not a big shift, but just a tiny thing here or there, and it changes the trajectory of where things go. So being able to fully stand in that power, claim it and own it, as a star on its own, as a way to shine in a different way, I feel has been, a very big pivot in the last couple of years, and still continuing to own it, as Marilise says, right? As we're never a finished product. So I think that's kind of where I was leaning. So it's sort of like support and shine. That's kind of that shine to support, support and shine there. That's where I was playing.
Yeah, I think that I've been on the privileged side of watching you do that, and totally step into your power, because at first when we support from behind, there can be a whisper going, is this enough? Does anybody even notice what I'm actually doing? Would they care if I disappeared? Right? And I'm not putting words into your mouth, Jenny, but I've felt that from other people. And when somebody says, my goodness, you're like a magician, you're everywhere all at once, know exactly what you're doing here. We couldn't do this without you. That isn't ego that feels good. That's actually allowing yourself to be seen. That's allowing your light to even shine as you're right. And then you step into the light even more. Ashley, I'm going to speak for you just a little bit, Ashley, because as a student of the Leadership Momentum Accelerator, you got to witness Jenny provide support behind the scenes. And I remember you getting off the thing and saying, I've never felt so seen and supported in my life. And that's really like, you have an amazing gift, Jenny, to be able to do that and to see and support from that space. So just like the story I told earlier about somebody that their listening skill is their gift and is so valuable, your ability to pivot and know what needs to be done and who needs to be communicated and all of those things, whether you are the person standing on the stage with the mic and doing like the front and center star, or the person that's doing what you're doing, so equally valuable and important. Yeah. Oofda. Ashley, what about you?
So my aha for this was in January when we did the visibility challenge, for sure. That was the first experience that I had in my entrepreneurial journey as a mom. Like I've been an entrepreneur since I was a small child, selling things, lots of different things. But my first experience where I really saw that I had value to bring without having tap shoes on my feet or without having music playing and coming up with choreography. And I know that I have value, but I hadn't had the opportunity, the container to share it yet, to see it. And I kind of had to do it with training wheels on, right? Like when we did it all together, it was like we were figuring it out as we went and trusting the process, that intuition in the word shine. But that was an aha for me. And I was like, I loved it. It was so fun. I'm going to do more of that. And so that's what it was. That was my aha. But if I go back just a little bit further to my framework and to how it aligns with the Shine framework, my aha was when there was a moment where I was melting down in my laundry room. We had just had a family member, my husband's cousin, had just passed away from COVID. We were at the funeral, and I'll make their story short. We were at the funeral, and this was like, 5 years ago now, whenever COVID was, feels like an eternity ago. But we were at the funeral, and all the adults were talking. There's a lot of doctors and lawyers and different what's the word I'm looking for? Different entrepreneurs, different businesses of sorts, right? All kind of connecting and talking about things. And I'm sitting there with the kids, and I'm at the kids' table, if you will. And I was like, I'm at the freaking kids' table. Like, I have no adult to talk to because I don't have any value. I have nothing to bring to these conversations over here. I'm not going to be able to add into the investment conversation or the accountant conversation or this conversation. And I don't even know these people. So I was like, I'll stay with the kids. And as much as I was annoyed by that, in the exact same moment, I was like, so filled with gratitude of like, they're all missing out on the absolute adorableness that's happening right now. They are missing out. And it was this really, it was like whiplash of these feelings of like, not enough. Like you're not, I'm not enough, that I wasn't doing enough. Going back to kind of Marilise, I wasn't doing enough. And also, I'm so grateful that I get to be in the proximity of these small kids with all this beautiful energy. So that was an aha for me, because when I came home from that, I was crying. I'm not a big crier. I didn't think I was. And I was crying in the laundry room. My husband came in and he's like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Nothing." I'm folding my kids' laundry. And he says, what's wrong?" And I was like, you know what? I had nothing to contribute to the adult conversations. Like I'm with the kids all day, and I just feel like I've lost a piece of me. I am a very confident person. I always was. How come I couldn't just walk over and strike up what was wrong, you know? And he looked at me and he was like, "So do something about that." Again, talking about your husbands, Marilise and Debbie, my husband is way more involved than I am. I'm not afraid to admit it. My husband is incredible. And I just love him so much. But he was like, "Okay, so do something." And he was like, "Let's start with the laundry right now." He's like, "Are you upset doing laundry?" And I was like, "No, I'm crying. I get to wash these uniforms, and I get to drive it, and I get to see every practice. I'm so grateful. This is the life I've wanted." And he was like, "Okay, like, how do I help you then?" You know, like, oh, he's like, "Because we can hire somebody to help with the laundry." I'm like, I can do this myself, you know. It was this, again, whiplash. I don't know, hormones. I don't know what was going on there. But that was an aha for me, because when my husband looked at me and said, "Well, do something about it then," I was like, "You're right. Do something about it. Put on your big girl pants and do something." And the days that followed were me realizing that my children were watching me, and they didn't see me crying in that moment, but they could feel my energy, and I needed to do something about it. So I started doing some things, well, small baby steps. But if I fast forward it to the shine, it was fun. We follow the fun. That's what I do. So
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Magda, what about you?
So I will start that I need to get you back because I have two lives. The first life was before I came to United States, and then another, in Poland. So as a little child, I am only child, so I was so alone all the time, surrounded by woods. But then I was the athlete, and I have a group of people who share the same interest, share the same passion, and I thrive in there. But I lost it, and I moved to States. I meet the group of people I never meet in my life. I become completely lost. So I took everything on myself. All the ideas were literally stupid for those people. And we're not doing this in States. We're not doing that. And I was like, okay, I do those things. So I isolated from people, and I just do it in my way. And I didn't even realize how much I am missing the people with the same mental capacity what I had. And that is evolve. So when we start the shine, I just want to be part of community. I want to be led, not constantly be a leader. I want to be led by someone else. That was you, Debbie. And also I want to be part of community. When I start that process of online business, I was like creating to-do list. I will do that, and we can go through pages, and I want to go faster, integrate everything, and become that person. And my shit was, no, I don't want to do this by myself. I don't want to do this alone. There are other people who do this better than me. I can just invite them. So for me, biggest shift was belonging and the sense of community all over again. And it doesn't need to be that I have to do this by myself always. Although I have this thread that I would love to take over and fix the problems what other people lacking. But that is part of me, that's part of the healing. But the biggest thing is the shifting, being closer to lean into community, which is not necessarily the safest thing in my body to do.
Oh, thank you guys. This has been an amazing conversation. Thank you for taking the time to be here today to just kick off this Shine Circle framework. We will continue on going through all of the letters. So 5 weeks of this, and then these will sit in the replay vault and possibly be used other places. But I want to acknowledge what the time commitment that it took, but also the energy and intention of you being here. Very focused, very connecting the dots for others, very empowering, more aha moments. So I continue to invite everybody to continue to go deeper with these thoughts of what does this mean and how is it related back to what you do, and maybe some of the things you wish you could do or you have limitations or lack mentality around, is just allow that to bubble to the surface and have conversations. These replays will sit inside of the membership portal, and there is a place for conversations. So we invite you to have these conversations within the replays as well, so we can continue to go deeper. So thank you everybody for being here today. The rest of the Shine circles will be shorter. We wanted to make sure that this was really in depth to set the intention and the foundation. And so we will do the letters more in bite-sized pieces where you can actually, come in and then recircle back to them as well, right? This is really important that we allow ourselves to go deeper. And sometimes that's in a 5-minute opportunity, and sometimes it's in a 20-minute. So thank you, everybody.